basketball fans, and welcome to our continued coverage of the ASEAN Basketball League's 9th season. We are coming to you live at the Gor Kertajaya in Surabaya, Indonesia for this matchup between the CLS Knights and the defending champions Alab Pilipinas. Sedaf Tupas with Marco Benitez, and we are proud to bring you this match tonight. Of course, CLS Knights coming off a big win over Mono Vampire, and Alab Pilipinas looking very, very sharp in their debut last week.
Well, that's exactly correct, Sedaf, and it's going to be a great matchup here, especially here at Gor Kertajaya, the second and final meeting in the regular season between these two teams, as they are part of different groups. As you take a look at the team standing, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, the only undefeated team so far, as the Formosa Dreamers lost to the Mono Vampire Basketball Club yesterday, while the CLS Knights Indonesia looking to add to their win total here at home and to get back at San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, especially after that sorry loss last Sunday.
So revenge will be on the minds of this CLS Knights team. Maxi Esho and the rest of the crew will be looking for their third win at home. You know, this is a great way to bounce back against a very strong team playing here at home in your home floor.
Well, this venue has really been known as a passionate fan base, and it's always hard to play here if you are the visiting crowd. And the CLS Knights will look to draw from the intensity and the passion of this crowd here in Gor Kertajaya to get back at the defending champs. And we all know CLS Knights coming off a win against the Mono Vampire Basketball Club, so they will try to jump off from that, the confidence and the momentum coming from that game.
Alab Pilipinas, of course, parading a new import in PJ Ramos. Ronaldo Balkman has returned for another tour of duty for Alab. But you take a look at the keys to the game here for the CLS Knights, Marco.
First and foremost, get back on defense, especially in transition. 18 fast break points for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, highlighted by about 5 dunks on the fast break from Ronaldo Balkman. Of course, number 2, they have to box out, especially PJ Ramos, Ronaldo Balkman, Kalen Tiongson. Multiple second chance opportunities for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, sometimes resulting in 3-point shots. 14 3-pointers in that game for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And of course, they have to minimize their turnovers. Talking about the CLS Knights, they had 14 turnovers, resulting in multiple points off turnovers. And of course, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas feeds off those turnovers, converting them into turnover points, especially in transition, where they are most dangerous.
When you talk about Alab Pilipinas, you see the length, you see the athleticism, and now, you know, a lot of versatility in this lineup this season, Marco.
That is correct. Now that they have Kalen Tiongson, they also have a Brandon Rosser. You have Bobby Ray Parks, who can play the number 1 spot. Alvano is there, who's a quick, very pesky defender. You also have Ronaldo Balkman, who can pretty much guard every position on the floor. That gives them a very versatile lineup. But we take a look at the previous game between the CLS Knights, where they won by 5 points against the Mono Vampire squad, who were just trying to find their chemistry. They had 45 rebounds in that game. And also in the previous game, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas walloped the CLS Knights, limited them to just 26 points in the first half, en route to a 27-point victory for the home squad in Santa Rosa, Laguna.
Oh, they just jumped the gun on the CLS Knights. And you gotta love Alab's performance, though, because they started the season pretty late, and all of these teams already had the 3 or 4 games under their belts. But for Alab, it didn't seem to be a problem. The sharpness of this team is just remarkable.
Actually gave them a chance to really scout their opponents, and to the disadvantage of teams like CLS Knights, they did not know what to expect from San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And Ronaldo Balkman, adding that 3-point shot to his amazing arsenal, had about 5 3-pointers in that game. And PJ Ramos as well, the 7'3" big man, who not only is a force inside but also has the range, had 4 3-pointers in that game.
Well, that's been the problem, actually, because this Alab team is coming up with surprises. And even PJ Ramos' outside shooting was a surprise for most of basketball observers. As we take a look at the CLS Knights, they start out with this Monte Brandon, one of their second leading scorer in this team, and very versatile player, and I think he will be a key here against Alab.
That's exactly correct. Only had 7 points in that game against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, and a lot of that is because of the versatility that you mentioned, Sedel, of the defense of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. They can switch a lot of those frontline screens, a lot of those handoffs, and really Monte Brandon had a difficult time in that game. So let's see if he's able to bounce back here against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, especially coming off a great win against Mono Vampire.
Well, he's been teaming up pretty well with Maxi Esho. And Monte Brandon is one player to look out for the CLS Knights. Certainly, when you talk about playing on the wing and using that athleticism, that speed, it's Monte Brandon that you were talking about with regards to the CLS Knights. But they do have some very solid players. But on the other side, Ronaldo Bachman, I think he's better than he was last season, Marco.
I think it's a function of losing Justin Brownlee, so really coming out very aggressive. He added that three-point repertoire to his game. PJ Ramos as well, showing us the touch from the outside. There was a lot of question mark with PJ Ramos not defending Stephen Hurt from the outside, but he himself was a force both inside and out, and especially, I liked especially the way he let go of those baseball passes towards Ronaldo Bachman and the rest of his teammates to feed them in transition.
Well, he just starts the offense himself, this PJ Ramos, and also can finish at the post. Of course, that's been his calling card throughout his career, but this three-point shot, this quick release actually is will be a problem for the rest of the ASEAN Basketball League. And
I got the chance to talk to Coach Amakuan, and he said one of the intangibles PJ Ramos brings to the floor is that he is such a likable person, likable teammate, and it just bodes well for the chemistry of the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas squad. And of course, we know #1 scorer Ronaldo Bachman, who was just a force from everywhere on the floor. The motor is there, the energy that he brought all season long was right there from the get-go for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, and as we mentioned, he added that three-point shot to his arsenal.
The passion as well. Ronaldo Bachman plays with a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, and with his team, he certainly is very, very comfortable with the way this team has been set up for him. He's Justin Brown is no longer around to be his tag team partner, but Ronaldo Bachman has shown, I think he started the season preparation for the season very early, and that's the reason why he's come out very, very sharp and looking in very good shape.
And it also does not hurt that the guy he is playing with in terms of the import tandem is PJ Ramos, who is a very good friend of his. Both of them playing for the Puerto Rican national team, so there's a lot of familiarity between these two players, and they can really complement each other both inside and outside the court.
And one thing as well, the difference as well from last season is that Ronaldo Bachman doesn't need to guard the other team's biggest player.
That's exactly correct, and that's one of the reasons why you have a Kalen Tiongson there, while you have a Brandon Rosser there, that relieves Ronaldo Bachman from the pressure of having to play great defense against the #1 import of the opposing squad. As we saw in the last game against CLS Knights, it was Kalen Tiongson who was matched up the entire game pretty much against Maxi Esho, and that just allowed Ronaldo Bachman to run amok in terms of offense.
Well, we will talk about that matchup in a bit as we take a look at the CLS Knights. They do have some very solid players there. Wong Wei Long is now with the CLS Knights after a very good career with the Singapore Slingers, and he is also a local player.
Yes,
because of his Indonesian mother. So this is a very, very strong CLS Knights team. This is quite different from last season as well.
That's correct. And one of the key additions to the CLS Knights squad is also Brandon Jawato, who played in the University of Hawaii, brings a lot of energy. Also, is able to play defense against the opposing big men or opposing import. But he's going to have to step up offensively for the CLS Knights, especially against a powerhouse San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
Firepower isn't a problem for Alab right now. They may have lost Justin Brownlee, but Bobby Ray Parks is back. The reigning local MVP, and Kalen Tiongson can also light it up from beyond the arc.
When you talk about depth, CEDELF, one of the deepest teams by far here in Season 9 of the ASEAN Basketball League, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
As we go to our Coliseum Barker for the starting lineups. their matchup, Maxi Esho and Kailan Chongson. You know, Kailan Chongson managed just 4 points, but he did have 8 rebounds and 7 assists, and probably held Maxi Esho to just 20 points.
That is exactly correct. And as you remember, most of the shots, or a lot of the shots of Maxi Esho, were well challenged by Kailan Chongson. Just that he was just provided better offense. And we talked about Maxi Esho, but Kailan Chongson has found a role here, found a home here in San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, part of the starting lineup for the second game in a row. And of course, you have Ronaldo Bogman, PJ Ramos, Ethan Albano, who has been a revelation for Coach Jimmy Alapag, and current number 2 overall pick in the PBA draft, Bobby Ray Parks.
Well, he missed the draft for this game.
Yeah.
Bobby Ray Parks, talk about being committed to your team right now.
And what I heard, Sedelf, is that he is going to finish this ABL season. He will go by way the same Christian Stan Hardinger route. He will finish the ABL season before joining his mother ball club in the pro ranks.
Well, I think he is worth the wait, Marco, when he finally gets to suit up in the pros back in the Philippines.
One of the most well-rounded and polished players coming out of the amateur ranks.
There's really no question mark on what he can do with regards to playing at that level. Bobby Ray Parks, but for now his focus will be with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, with Coach Jimmy Alapag right there. Had a storied international career for the Philippines, and now winning an ABL title in his rookie season.
Yeah. And you know, I think Bobby Ray Parks' tremendous experience and this stint here with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas helped his career tremendously, as he has gone up against various world imports. We've seen him matched up against the likes of Marcus Elliott, Anthony Tucker. He is the reigning local MVP here in coming from Season 8, and he's just added tons of volumes to his game.
You know, over the past couple of years in the ABL, we've seen Bobby Parks develop and mature as a player. Coach Brian Rosum has a tough task ahead of him as he tries to lead the CLS Knights to a victory against the reigning champions, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. San Miguel Alab Pilipinas came into the season with a mission, and they haven't, no team has repeated in the ABL, so that surely plays in the minds of Coach Jimmy Alapag and the rest of Alab.
And from the way they started last Sunday, they are looking very sharp, as you mentioned, and poised to really be a contender here. I think the most crucial thing here for the CLS Knights is the way they start the ball game, especially in front of their home squad. They cannot go down 7-zip San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, which is how they started out in Santa Rosa a week ago. Remember, this is going to be the 3rd game for the CLS Knights in the span of 1 week. Meanwhile, for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, a whole week to prepare for this matchup.
San Miguel Alab Pilipinas arrived here yesterday, I believe, and but had some shots up yesterday as well. So just about ready for tip-off here at Gor Cortajaya. We are underway. It's Wong Wei Long gets that basketball to begin this ball game. CLS Knights wearing that white jersey, Alab Pilipinas in red, and almost immediately Ronaldo Bachman with the steal, and he will go all the way for the jam.
Ronaldo Bachman, one of the best at picking off those passing lanes, has such long arms and is so quick, especially in transition.
And Wong Wei Long bothered by the defense of Ethan Albano.
And we saw that almost the entire game last Sunday. Albano doing a good job shadowing Wong Wei Long.
And CLS Knights starting with Stephen Hurt right there. Wong Wei Long, Maxi Esho. This is Brandon Jawato. Hurt with a jumper. Short. And PJ Ramos collects the rebound.
And we saw PJ Ramos coming out a little bit farther there, coming out a little harder on that jump shot of Stephen Hurt.
Ray Parks. 12 to shoot. Parks on the move. Goes to Albano at the corner. Albano against Wong Wei Long. 7 seconds in the shot clock. Albano puts it up. Hurt goes down as he went for that rebound. There will be a foul on Kailan Chongson.
And immediately we can hear the crowd cheering on that defensive stop for the CLS Knights. Again, this venue, not a very difficult venue to play at. One of the reasons is because of the traction. The humidity here in Gor Kertajaya sometimes plays a big factor.
Well, especially some of the new guys here for Alab. They have Ethan Alvano's first time here playing in this league. The pass was strong, but Hurt recovers. Maxi Esho against Chongson. That's our matchup before the game. Brandon for three, no good. Ramos just plucks that ball out of the air. Ethan Alvano. They go to Ronaldo Balkman. PJ Ramos in possession on the low block. Stephen Hurt will be whistled for the personal. That's going to be a tough matchup for Hurt.
And this is the beauty of having a PJ Ramos. Not only can he shoot the three ball, he can also post up with his back to the basket. And because of his frame and his heft, very difficult for Stephen Hurt to defend him one-on-one without having to give up a lot of contact.
Ray Parks goes to Balkman. 5 seconds in the shot clock for Alab. Balkman for three. Too strong. Ramos gets the board. Long two for PJ. Battle for the rebound. You gotta like the hustle from the Knights, but they could not get possession back.
Well, so far they've been able to limit San Miguel Alab Pilipinas here. Field goal percentage of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas not the same way they started in Santa Rosa.
Chongson goes to PJ Ramos. Short on the three. Brandon Jawato grabs the rebound.
Remember, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas had 14 triples in that game in Santa Rosa, Laguna.
Stephen Hurt to Brandon. Maxi Esho now. Finding it tough to get past Kalen Chongson. Brandon Jawato. Tough shot right there from Jawato.
And there you see the defense being played by Bobby Ray Parks. Also an excellent lockdown defender on the perimeter.
They go ahead to Parks and he will miss the jam.
Oh, sorry miss there for Bobby Ray Parks. Did not get as much elevation as he would have wanted.
Maxi Esho pulls up offline on the three.
Both teams struggling here to start this ball game out.
Balkman. They go to Parks against Wong Wei Long. Parks inside and he will score.
Good decision there on Bobby Ray Parks, recognizing the mismatch. Gets the ball from Ronaldo Balkman and then no help defense for Wong Wei Long.
Parks is going to have a field day if that stays. The Esho is forced into a miss by Chongson again. Balkman. It's Monte Brandon. They go to PJ Ramos. Puts that ball on the floor. He gets stripped by Maxi Esho.
Well, that's one of the things you don't want if you're PJ Ramos, to have to put the ball on the floor and leave it open for quick hands of the CLS Knights.
Knights still looking for their first basket. Wong Wei Long drops it to Brandon and he will be fouled by Kalen Chongson.
That's going to be the second personal foul on Kalen Chongson, and that is what Wong Wei Long has to do. He has to penetrate, break the defense down, and then once the help comes, kick it out to an open teammate. Good decision there by Monte Brandon to take it strong to the basket.
Brandon had an open baseline jumper, opted to take it strong. So early sub here for Kalen Chongson. In comes Lawrence Domingo in his third season with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
And you know, Sidelf, I think this is where one of the big advantages of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas lies in the depth of their bench. You see with Kalen Chongson picking up his second personal, the guy you have off the bench is either Lawrence Domingo or Brandon Rosser, who also had a stellar debut last Sunday. So you just see they're about 10 or 12 deep, and about one or two deep in every position.
Absolutely. That could be that's a miss. And the Knights still scoreless here. Alvano goes to Balkman. Balkman pulls up, baseline jumper, short. Esho trying to save it. That's a tough break again for CLS Knights.
This is a nice matchup here, and you know, for Maxi Esho, he's defending #1 offensive player of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. So he's going to have to exert a lot of effort defensively, while on the other end, Balkman is not the one picking him up.
Ethan Alvano on the move. Drops it off to Lawrence Domingo. Too strong on the reverse.
Pulled off the bench is Lawrence Domingo, but that's his favorite shot, that reverse.
Wong Wei Long goes to Esho. Brandon Joato gets it back. Stephen Hurt. Knights trying to move that ball around, and another steal here by Balkman.
That's the second pass that has been picked off by Balkman, going the way of Monte Brandon.
You can't afford those weak passes with Balkman there.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the second turnover as well of the CLS Knights.
PJ Ramos against Stephen Hurt. Banging bodies, and PJ Ramos showing us the touch.
Yep. We saw his outside scoring in the first game. Right now, showing us that the inside game.
Ethan Alvano just causing all sorts of problems defensively there. Alvano on the move, and Ethan Alvano scoring on the tough layup. And Alab Pilipinas is off to a terrific start here at the home of the CLS Knights. 8-0. And we're at the midway point of the first period. CLS Knights still looking for their first basket. We're back at the Gore Basket Kertajaya in Surabaya, Indonesia. At the Knights ground. But so far, the CLS Knights have been shut out in the first 5 minutes of this ball game. San Miguel Alab Pilipinas leading 8-0.
And this is what we talked about, Sadelf, at the start of the pregame. This is exactly what you did not want to happen if you are the Knights. 7-0 start last Sunday, 8-0 start today. 3 turnovers already for the CLS Knights.
Alvano gambled on the steal. Wong Wei Long back rims that long too.
0 of 6 from the field right now for the Knights.
And the home crowd getting a bit anxious here.
Yeah.
PJ Ramos gets it on the low block. And Stephen Hurt. Ramos. Turnaround shot. That's good.
That's just a great move there from Ramos, feeling his defender after a couple of bumps and then a drop step to the baseline. And how about the soft touch from the 7'3" big man?
PJ Ramos, you see the logic why they brought in PJ Ramos as the Stephen Hurt knocks down the first basket for the CLS Knights from the perimeter.
And this is the weapon of choice of Stephen Hurt, because he knows that he's not going to be able to post up one-on-one against the 7'3" PJ Ramos, so he decides to take him outside.
Balkman! Oh my goodness, another dunk for Ronaldo Balkman.
And that is what his outside shooting from last Sunday has opened up.
Maxi Esho misses.
Good follow-up there coming from Monte Brandon. They're going to need the energy coming from Brandon. They need this crowd to get into the game. Give them some momentum, give them some lift.
Ray Parks. PJ Ramos gets into the low block again. They go to the other side to Balkman against Monte Brandon. And Maxi Esho was too close for the pass intended to Lawrence Domingo.
That's twice they went to PJ Ramos, and then on the weak side, Balkman goes to the corner. Lodo dives into the paint, drawing the defender of Balkman as well, leaving Balkman wide open.
And first change here for Alab Pilipinas. It's Pau Havilona coming in for Ethan Alvano. Short on that jumper from PJ Ramos. Maxi Esho quickly down court, pulls up, short. Brandon collects the rebound, Wong Wei Long. Stephen Hurt, they go down low to Maxi Esho. Great defense by Domingo. Jawato attacks, and he was...
Oh, that's great job there by Lawrence Domingo, drawing the offensive foul.
The crowd did not like that call.
But how about the initial defense by Domingo, forcing the bad shot on Maxi Esho, and then quickly recovering on that penetration by Jawato.
Look at this. Domingo moving his feet, getting to the spot.
Yeah. And he was outside the restricted area.
And Brandon Rosser is in for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
A little bit of confusion here as referees have yet to hand back on the basketball.
Looks like it was Bobby Ray Parks.
Just to give you an idea of the depth at the point guard position here for Alab, you still have Josh Urbistondo coming off the bench, and Parks himself can play that #1 spot as Bachman, cutting from the weak side, gets that pass from Ramos.
You can't overstate it enough how sharp this Alab Pilipinas team we're seeing right now. Wong Wei Long on the move. Wei Long gets that one to go.
Recognizing that Paulo Javelona is not as quick or as tall as Alvano, takes him off the dribble, goes to his left, and then the veteran, former local MVP, Wong Wei Long.
Oh, that's a tough shot there. Javelona played him very well, and up until the final moment, it didn't look like Wong Wei Long was going to hit that.
And he's another big addition here for the CLS Knights. Gives them that stability at the point guard spot. Of course, he's trying to fill the shoes of Mario Wuisang, the Indonesian legend.
Rosser. PJ Ramos. Javelona is open. He'll take the three. Too strong on the shot from Paulo. Rosser collects. Gets the bump from Hurt. Domingo with another rebound. PJ Ramos. That is a turnover. Maxi Esho.
That's a hard foul there on the part of Lawrence Domingo. Although he went for the basketball, but they may rule it as excessive contact.
Sportsman-like foul on Lawrence Domingo.
I think it was also brought about by his momentum, because he initially went for the basketball, but then on the follow-through, there was that hack.
Yeah, absolutely there. As Lawrence Domingo.
And of course, Maxi Esho not appreciating that.
I think it was more of his momentum, really, that they were running into Maxi Esho. He got the ball initially, but Esho was already away.
PJ Ramos sticking up for Lawrence Domingo. And Esho still talking.
And Esho trying to calm everybody down. Ronaldo Bachman. Another look on display. Esho was quick.
From that angle, Sedelf did not look like an unsportsmanlike, because he got a lot of ball. But the referees, looks like they're going to rule it as an unsportsmanlike foul. So 2 free throws plus possession. Big opportunity here for the Knights.
Maxi Esho making the first of 2 free throws. They will get the ball back, the CLS Knights.
First free throw conversion for them. They're 3 of 11 from the field. Meanwhile, San Miguel Alab, 7 of 17. But they have also yet to hit a 3-point shot in this game.
That's a positive if you're the CLS Knights, considering that Alab had 14 3-pointers in the last game. That's just remarkable, Marco.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, Bachman had 3 3-pointers as early as the start of the second quarter. So Esho still talking.
And Bachman and Esho have been going at it, chatting for a while. Long Wei Long. 10 seconds in the shot clock. Wei Long, it goes to Hurt. Maxi Esho against Domingo. Domingo will be whistled for another foul.
And Esho with the right idea. That foul by Domingo is still fresh on the minds of the referees. Again, going aggressive at Lawrence Domingo and then picking up Domingo's second personal.
And Maxi Esho is back at the line. Hit 2 free throws in his previous trip. Played for the Saigon Heat last season. Also, was a big addition to that Saigon team.
And he has been the #1 scorer here for the CLS Knights. He's averaging close to 22 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, also a steal and a half. Just an all-around player here for Coach Rosam.
2 for 2 for Maxi Esho. Lead is down to 4. Alab Pilipinas.
Good recovery here for the guys in white. Remember, they scored just 13 points, or I think that's 14 points in the entire first quarter last game, while Alab scored 23.
Javelona on the spin move, taking Wong Wei Long off the dribble.
So trying to get some retribution here is Paulo Javelona. And Javelona, not one of your quickest, but one of your high basketball IQ guards.
And that's a foul right there. Initially from Wong. Javelona at the line. First free throw. That's good. Pau Javelona actually used the stint with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas as a springboard to get to the pros back in the Philippines. And now he's back with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas for another championship run.
Ray Parks comes back into the game, so he will play the point guard spot. I expect probably Coach Jimmy Alpag sticking with Lawrence Domingo despite the 2 personals. Hidayat also in for the CLS Knights, replacing Wong Wei Long.
So 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Hidayat gave a good account of himself in their last game against Mono Vampire. Had 6 points, 2 of 5 from the 3 ball.
Hidayat against Parks. And lose the handle there. The ball will stay with the CLS Knights. It's Rahman Otomo on the drive.
He was one of the X factors for the Knights against the Mono Vampire, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a big win at home, 80-75 against Mono Vampire. 3 ball. It's a miss. Ramos with another rebound.
Alab can go for the 2 for 1.
Huge differential between shot clock and playing clock, almost 17 seconds. Ramos pecks it in. PJ Ramos
flexes that muscle, and he has been a problem here for Stephen Hurt. And the right idea there by Alab Pilipinas. The CLS has not found a solution to that post game by PJ Ramos, so they continue to feed the big man down low.
I mean, what do you do here if you're CLS Knights, Marco? You want to double him and leave Ray Parks open? And
you have to pick your poison. So you probably double him after a couple of dribbles, force him to kick it out, and then go for a soft challenge against the 3-point shooting of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Make them prove that they can knock it down here in Gor Kertajaya, rather than allow PJ Ramos those high percentage shots from within 10 feet.
PJ Ramos already with 9 points in the ball game. Maxi Esho. The handoff to Brandon. They go back to Esho against Parks. Quick double from Ronaldo Balkman, and Ray Parks is caught holding onto Maxi Esho.
And there you see a little bit of the versatility of Bobby Ray Parks on the cross matchup. Picking up Maxi Esho, who was about to hold his own on defense, but the referee's catching him for the hand check foul.
And Coach Jimmy Alapag really going to his bench early here. Josh Orbistondo is getting set to come in.
In that blowout win against the Knights last Sunday, it was only Balkman who played above 30 minutes. Had 31 and 45 to be exact. Everybody else had 28 minutes or less.
Well, it will be a long and grueling season here in the ASEAN Basketball League. We have 10 teams this season. Parks, second remaining. Parks to beat the buzzer.
We remember Rosser had that follow-up dunk to end the half, I believe, on Sunday. But time running out here in the first quarter. Another good start for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
19-11. The visiting San Miguel Alab Pilipinas with an 8-point lead over the CLS Knights. We'll be right back.